Yes, people. What's going on? Welcome back to United View. Welcome to another rendition, another episode, another video, whichever one you want to call it, of the red carpet. The evening after the night before. And we got a lot to talk about on this red carpet. First of all, we got to shout out the debutant. We got to shout out Mr. Scott Saunders. Scott, welcome in, man. Welcome in. Good to have you, bro. Good to have you. Big up. He's making his debut. How you feeling?
Thanks for having me, guys. Thank you for having me. Could be in better circumstances, couldn't it? But you know, it's just we're in that same repeated cycle. I think we're there now, aren't we? So lots to talk about.
Lots to talk about. Just a little bit. James is on his way in as well. Dylan is on his way in as well. So even more. Everyone's out. Everyone needs to get their feelings out. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how long today's show is going to be and who's going to start. I don't know, but there's a lot to talk about. Shout out to Bradley, of course, and big up to Minna, Miss Uncut Minna. We already congratulated her once already, but really, it's like we're talking to an official Premier League, not ambassador. I don't want to do that. But
no, I'm not ambassador.
Not ambassador.
People are saying I'm an industry plant.
You are.
Call me an industry plant. I don't mind that. I'll take that.
Industry plant. Nasty work. But yeah, like we said, we're all very proud of you, Minna, and big up to you on your achievement, man. We're really happy for you, man. The hard work has come. And big up to Mr. KG back in the country after witnessing greatness out in Las Vegas, Nevada. You know what I'm saying? Last time he was in that stadium, we got slapped by Dortmund, mate. This time, and you said, we're not ready, Flex. At this time, you're there witnessing greatness. So,
bro, and I was saying something like that. I'm saying along them lines. I was like, I've been in there before, but it wasn't a good day. I was like, and you know what? Like, I had to. Oh man, there was even after the game because I done what the Americans lot do. Woke up early, mate. So I was at the fight. Finished the fight. I said, you know what? I don't care what time I'm leaving. Wake up, watch Man United. They almost ruined it. Well, they did. Let's have it right.
Well, they did. Yeah,
they did. And then I had to. Do you know I did? Do you know I had to? This is when you know it's bad. Because how many games we into the season? Sorry, I'm getting cooked in immediately. We're four games in.
Yeah. I like when you checked your watch as well for that.
Yeah.
How many games are we in this season?
Do you know I did? I was on a thing called the Lazy River where you have a float and you just go around. Yeah, I was in one of those bad boys, and I said, I'm not going to have no happiness from Man United. Man United are not going to provide me with any happiness this season. So what you need to do is you need to learn how to detach emotionally from the club. Literally, I tried to coach myself while on the Lazy River. I said, they're not going to be the source of anything that makes you feel good. You're just not going to feel nothing, literally, from this team and from this manager, from these and the fan base. We're going to fight this season. I'm ready. The fan base, we're going to fight this season. James is here. James told me.
They're on to James.
Yep. James talked to us about Luke Shaw and stuff and how Luke Shaw said the criminals are gone, but he's still putting in criminal performances. We'll get to that later. But all I'm saying is, Man United is about to break everyone's heart this season. We're going to do it again. That's what we're going to do. That's my starting statement. We're going to break hearts, and then these pricks are going to go off and rebrand 15 minutes, scoring in 15 minutes. Onana getting like a sofa score highest. It's bullshit. But hey.
Well, this is how the show is going to go. Welcome in, James.
Hello.
James, I don't know why, so we have to talk, but a lot of people are onto you in the chat. They're saying, they were saying things like he must show his face, he must answer for his crime. Etc. So we're gonna get into
it's all your fault. You picked the team yesterday.
Remember, I picked the team. I hired the manager. I got the owners in. That's why I get death threats about it. You know, I've done all of that. It's me. I'm the man behind the curtain, the Wizard of Oz. You know what I mean?
Max says, "Is this the red carpet or James rushing? Are we just going after James?" Right. I don't even know where to start. Actually, let's start by some of the news that's been coming out today from the reports from Chris Wheeler. Do we have it as a thing, Owen, or is it we just know what it is?
No, it's just, I'll just read it. It just says, Man United hierarchy is back in Ruben Amorim for now, but the players are losing confidence in his system. He says that the players are losing confidence in Ruben Amorim's system amid a growing crisis at Old Trafford, but United are backing him for now, with some players never having been comfortable, ever, with the 3-4-2-1 system or the 3-4-3 or what have you. A report from the Mirror also said Amorim's rigid 3-4-3 formation and his refusal to adapt to any other setup is said to have caused huge concern among key members of the squad. Some United players are said to feel that Amorim is undermining them and repeatedly asking them to fit into a system they are not equipped to play. So it's one of those ones where it's like this a very easy article to write the day after, isn't it? About the players not being happy or what have you. But the problem is it's very believable at the same time because that's what it looks like when you watch the
one that we always get mad defensive. We always get defensive with the media saying, typical media spinning. They just hated, adored, never ignored. It was only a matter of time before they said the players are losing faith. But this time it's like, well, I've lost faith, so I guess they probably have as well.
Have they bothered trying to put in a good performance before losing faith in other people? Have they bothered?
Right, James. Okay.
I'm gonna read you a quote from Bruno Fernandes. You ready?
Oh, okay. We're ready for the quote.
This is from 2024. He says, "I have played, however, especially last season with Coach Ten Hag, deeper. In fact, against Everton, I played number 6, and I still think it was one of the most complete games I've played at all levels in terms of passing, game organization, defense tactics. I have a little thought in my head that I'm going to end my career further back because everyone who started there and went to number 10 ended up retreating on the field at the end." Interesting.
Okay.
But it's everybody else's fault but his. Huh? He plays poorly deep. Everybody else's fault but his.
Hold on. James, wait.
I missed the first 2 minutes, so don't.
James,
you already discussed
James,
this.
I'm glad that
you're
James
not doing this.
Well, who
I'm
picked
doing
him?
this.
Who picked him?
Who picked him is an idiot too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Look,
I got
what?
hate for everybody
No,
right now when we're losing games.
I've known for years Bruno's brainless. Bruno's brainless.
Yeah, but you're right. You're right.
5 years.
Does everybody else? Because all I'm seeing is, we need to make the system fit Bruno. I'm out if that happens, man. I am out. I am absolutely out if that happens. I am done with United if that happens. We're going backwards. Let's do it again. Rangnick, 2 games, a little bit of pressing, back to the deep block, hero ball. Ten Hag, 2 games, little bit of pressing, back to the deep block, hero ball. I'm out if we go backwards again. I don't care who comes in. Don't get me wrong. I don't care if the manager leaves tomorrow. It's failing. Everything's failing right now. I'm not going backwards. Let's look forwards. Who's next? Not Bruno, because he's not. The next manager, put Bruno on the bench, play Kobbie Mainoo with Mason Mount and somebody else. And that's cool. Cool with me. Let's move forward.
Before a ball was kicked, I said our captain is going to become villain number 1. And this is it. We have arrived here.
You see his reaction when we concede. Do you see his reaction when we concede? Throwing his hands around again, doing all that shit. He's not captain.
Yeah, but there's not captain. Excuses now, though. This is excuses for Bruno. This is excuses for Bruno because Bruno performed badly at the beginning of last season. Where did he play? In the number 10 in a 4-2-3-1. Where did he play the season before that? In a number 10 under Erik Ten Hag in a 4-2-3-1. Performed badly. This guy starts off crap. And he gives up in big games. I've seen him give up in big games. This is nothing new. He's a disgrace. Luke Shaw's a disgrace, but he's good when he's fit. Honestly, those two. Honestly,
I don't use these words, but I get it.
Honestly, those two, if they have a job at Man United, the only job that they should be doing is scrubbing the toilets at Carrington because it will stink of shit and they're full of shit. So it's a match made in hell.
Yeah. All right, cool. There you go. There we are. All right, cool. Bradley's stuff's up. Dylan. That's why I wanted to do that. Bradley's.
He wants to follow that one.
Yeah. Dylan, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Sorry, I had
you are killing
many camera issues. What time to step in?
Yeah.
I think and because there's a lot of us today, so we're gonna have to share this around. Dylan, thoughts on that? Then we're going to come to Scott on his debut. Then, of course, we're going to get to Minna, and then we're just going to go from there.
Yeah, so all right, I'm not 100% sure what has and hasn't been said because I've had 8 minutes fighting with my camera to try and attach it to the rest of my computer.
It basically just started.
My reaction to
James saying,
yeah. So the Man City game and Amorim in general, I can't understand. I was saying this in DR earlier. It's so many little wins he can make, little changes he can make that will win him points with fans and like helping games, and he doesn't do them. And it's come to the point now where he's not been doing it after 10 or 11 months. So it's becoming indefensible. Like for me, like I've been a big backer of Amorim. I like him as a person, but as a coach, too many times I thought once he got better players, he would then make better decisions. And he's got better players, and he's still making these weird. They're not even major decisions; they're little minor ones. Like why are you picking certain players in starting 11s? Like 8 of his starting 11 might be good players, and then he'll make 3 ridiculous choices. I'm like, well, you've ruined it for everybody because he's got. Like, those 3 chances, get rid of the 8 good ones you've made. And I can't. There's nothing else I can say now apart from just that he keeps making the same mistakes all the time. Like, why are you playing Ugarte in the midfield too when you know that Foden's going to be standing behind them both, and then none of them are marking him, and then you're shocked when Foden's got loads of space. Like, why didn't you just tell one of them to mark him or something like that, or just stop playing in midfield too? You know it won't work. No one in football, I'm becoming convinced, Culture Cam said this the other day, I'm becoming more convinced that no one in world football can play in that midfield too. There's too much is asked for them. Way too much is asked. Declan Rice, who covers every blade of grass every single week for Arsenal, would look half the player.
You need 1 or 2 Kante's prime.
Nobody. Nobody. I watched Bruno grow roots in his feet. The standard is on the floor for movement, okay?
I'll tell you, the only midfield pairing.
Planted. It's crazy.
I'll tell you, one of the only midfield pairings I can think of in the last 10, 15 years that might be able to do it would be that Kante and Pogba for France. If Kante just sweeps and Pogba being just so good at
or maybe
forwards, I can see it. I can see that maybe working, but we don't have Kante and we don't have Pogba. We did have Pogba actually, but I just don't think it works. Full stop. And there's nothing else I can say about it.
Scott, before you enter the chat, I'm just gonna say you are somebody who is respected in this environment, in this scene. You do have the chance to basically revoke your debut if you don't want any part of this because you feel like it's going to tarnish your name. You can do that because once you're in, because once you start,
then you're in the mud with us, right?
Yeah, this is joint enterprise, bro. So you will get guilty by association. Yeah, the RICO charge will occur. So
I've been in the mire plenty of times before. I'm all right. I'm all right. I think not for a while though. It's been at least a year. I'm so like, where do we go now? Like, I can't go through this phase again. Like, I'm sure, like many of you here, I've been very much in the camp of Amorim and time and all of this for a long while. And the Europa League for me, all of last season was terrible. No two ways about it. We all know that. The Europa League final was one. He lost me there. I could understand, though, there was so much to fix in the team that he deserved that time. He deserved over the summer for me he talked so much about, I need time to train. I need the ideas. I need new players. You know, they haven't signed anyone in the midfield. We all know that's a problem as well. But the writing's on the wall already. It really is. I'm not seeing enough out of him. Yes, it's 4 games, but he's spoken so much about wanting this preseason to get his ideas across, and we have to go by are underlying numbers that have been floating around social media over the last couple of weeks. That's all we really have. We don't really have much of a goal threat. A lot of the same problems are still happening, and obviously this is a guy as well. We can all sit here till we're blue in the face saying he should do this, he should do that, he should do this. He ain't going to change anything. He said it every single time he sat down in front of a camera. I'm not changing. I'm not going to change. And I'll go before I change. So I think really we're in this time now where it's how long is this going to take? you know. And I think the camp that I'm in now is, even though we're getting like this press briefing of, oh, United are really backing this guy, and then you get it's like clockwork. You know, it happens. It's speeding up. It's like every 10 months we're getting this now instead of every 2 years or whatever it is. It's like clockwork. And if you know that, for me, he gets 2 games to be honest. You got Chelsea and Brentford and another international break. It's so early in the season still that this is still salvageable. If I'm not seeing anything, well, you could say the writing's on the wall already, but like they're not going to do it in the middle of a week where there's another game, I don't think. But we need to see, he needs results. He just needs results. He's 8 wins in 31 in the Premier League. It's terrible. You can't 25% win ratio is terrible. It's the worst I've seen in my lifetime. So
since World War II.
Yeah, that bad?
Literally is. It's the worst manager, worst win percentage since World War II.
And Spitfires and that. That's
exactly. Since Anderson shouters. Like, can you imagine?
Crazy.
Yeah, but let's just call a spade a spade. He's a brainwasher. He's brainwashed. He's brainwashed the fans with this excuses after excuses after excuses. We played Ipswich away. We got a draw. Then we beat Bodo Glimt in the Europa League, and we beat Everton. So we got 2 wins there, right? He then said there's going to be a storm. That's because he experimented in the first 3 games, and then he got his Portuguese hands all over it and stuck to one team. And then he came out like a BBC reporter and said, we're tornado bound, tsunami bound, and hurricane bound. And then it all went tits up. And then in the summer, he decided to create more excuses and then said, oh, he needs training sessions. He needs a pre-season. He needs time, even though he was in charge for 7 months. And now, all of a sudden, it's about XG, XP, and all this nonsense. And now, what we're going to do. I just think this is absolute nonsense. He's an absolute joke. His post-match press conference was depressing. He said he's suffering more than us. Is he having a laugh? He's suffering more than us. He's going to become a multimillionaire for our football club. We're the ones that are losing money because we have to pay for our TVs to watch his crap. We have to pay for tickets to go and watch games to watch his crap. He's an absolute joke. He said we're better off not being in Europe. He told us last season that we're going to focus on the Europa League over the Premier League. And now all of a sudden, because he put in a worst managerial performance I've ever seen in my life and lose that game, and now all of a sudden, we're not equipped to play in Europe. He's an absolute disgrace.
I understand just to jump back in, I understand what he was saying when he said that, you know, like the squad can't, you see how they wilt in matches. It happened yesterday.
But my problem is that why come out and say we're going to prioritize the Europa League over the Premier League? That is his words. And then we do that, and then we lose the Europa League final. The only point of prioritizing the Europa League is to get into next season's Champions League. You lose that game, and now all of a sudden, you start saying that we're not equipped to be in Europe.
Well, and also
not
as well,
equipped to be in the Premier League at the minute.
That's different from
under him.
From what Sir Jim Ratcliffe has said, apparently, because Ben Jacobs is saying that Sir Jim Ratcliffe feels the Man United squad is good enough to qualify for the Champions League this season, and that Ruben Amorim's job security will be more seriously discussed if the side is not on course for European football as the season progresses. But then this is when you get back into it. Then what are you waiting for then? Because again, you look at it and you look at the stats. Flex mentioned it this morning. When you see them out in front of you, because you get lost in the week to week. When you see them out in front of you, going, he hasn't won twice in a month since January. It's been either 1 win in a month or 0 wins in a month since January. He hasn't won back-to-back Premier League games throughout his entire tenure. His average points per game in the Premier League is about a point per game. 4 games gone, we've got 4 points. We're still on a point a game. We're going towards, we're in relegation form, let alone Champions League qualification. Like, then what are we doing?
West Ham are better off.
Better managers.
West Ham are
people get sacked for less.
Yeah.
People get sacked for less at United.
Even if you forget about the start of the season in August and September, if you actually look at his record from January to May, how is that even acceptable for him to stay in a job in the summer? Like, it shouldn't have even been a debate, if we're being honest.
And we were patient. That's what I'm saying. People say
I wasn't, though.
You wasn't.
But
a lot of people were patient. Minna,
you don't say.
What say you on all of this? Like, where's Minna at? Where's she at?
I just have to say, the thoughts of the people on the panel is just their thoughts, and it's entirely their thoughts. Don't paint us all with the same brush. I just have to put that out there. But in terms of my thoughts, I think United fans, we love a scapegoat and we love a savior. And I think Bruno Fernandes has become that over his course. To kind of talk about Bruno Fernandes being the core root or the rotten core problem in the way that Ruben Amorim is playing, I think is quite ignorant. I think Ruben Amorim picking him to play central midfield is the difficult conversation that we need to have. The fact that Cunha was out against the derby, and I am of the belief that you always play your players in the best position, and that's my problem with the way that this system is set up under Ruben Amorim, is that you're not playing players in their best position. You are shoehorning them into positions that are created by the system to hope that they do the job there, because you don't have a player that's adequate to do that kind of job. And a lot of the positions in this style of play under Ruben Amorim, I think they're a niche. You need a niche type of player for that. For example, you look at Patrick Dorgu, he's more of a wing back than a fullback. On the other side, we have people who are fullbacks and not wing backs, and you can see how United struggle to build up from that side. That's my first point. My second point that I kind of struggle is the midfield, and I've been saying this for the whole time under Ruben Amorim. I was saying it under even Erik ten Hag. Any manager that disconnects from the midfield and kind of abandons domination in the midfield, for me, it's like a heart. If you got a hole in your heart, it don't matter how much blood you pump into that heart, you're dead. You are absolutely dead. Your heart's not going to beat. And I think with the midfield, it's the same thing. It don't matter how many players you put in the attacking forward line. Man United play with this kind of front five where they got the wing backs and then the three guys at the front, and then they got the kind of centre backs that are kind of shift up. It doesn't matter. If there's one man in that midfield going up against multiple other players, you are going to lose that battle. And yesterday, Pep schooled Amorim by playing one midfielder. He played Rodri by himself, Tijani Reinders and Phil Foden as 2 10s. He literally did what Amorim has been saying that he's trying to do at Manchester United by having 4 guys in the middle, in the front line, and Haaland in front. And that midfield, despite the fact that Bruno Fernandes said it himself, he said we identified Rodri as the press trigger. And what happened? The first goal that Manchester United concede, Rodri has the ball and no one presses him because players seem to get confused as to what they're meant to do. Luke Shaw had a big gap between himself and De Ligt, and he's hesitating, thinking, do I go to Doku? Do I close the gap to my central centre-back? I don't know what to do. And I feel it's unfortunate for Bruno Fernandes to be labelled as this issue when the manager came out in the summer pleading publicly for him to stay. The manager came out in the summer pleading, telling him, don't take. I know you're going to change the life of all the generation of the Fernandeses to come in the next 200 years, but please don't, because I really, really need you. I think that we should have identified that as an issue. Number one, number two, number three, and my final point is that there's multiple players playing out of position. You got a left back playing as a left-sided centre back. You got Ugarte, who is, for me, sorry, James, he's the worst player in Manchester United starting 11. And the fact that the manager
wasn't yesterday, not even close.
He was crap.
He was fine.
Yesterday. There was no one that
he was
not bad.
He was terrible.
Bad.
And he's been
Can I just say why I think Ugarte
he wasn't that bad.
The reason why I think Ugarte fits Amorim, and I don't agree with it, is because Amorim said it before the game. He said, I opted for Bruno in central midfield and Ahmad at left 10, and I've opted for Ugarte so that Ugarte can kind of cover for Bruno defensively. He didn't do that. I watched him get nutmeg, and that led to a goal.
Well,
he can't cover the wide. He can't cover the wide channels. He can't cover the wide channels, and I don't want to single him out, but I'm just tired of people blaming. It's not Ugarte's problem. It's not Bruno's problem. It's not Luke Shaw's problem. When will people realize that the way that we are playing is a problem for everyone? Yeah, you can say some players still shouldn't be there. 100%, I agree. Some players still shouldn't be there. But it's very tough for me to believe that a 20-something man squad, every single one of them are crap. It's very difficult. This is not step 6, step 7 football. This is Premier League football. It's very difficult for me to believe that everybody in the team is horrible.
Because they're not. That's true. It's because they're not crap.
And Ruben Amorim's problem is that, for me, is that I think he's sometimes too honest. And I've said this before. Sometimes he's too honest to a point where maybe you should sugarcoat. Maybe you should come out and instead of saying, oh, if you want to change the way that we play, change the manager, after, you don't say that after a derby defeat, a 3-0 that could have been 4, could have been 5. If he had come out and said, maybe we'll reevaluate the way that I play, and maybe I got something wrong, maybe something went wrong with the way that we were playing. But instead, it's like, for the last 10 or so months, he's been telling us these players are crap. He's been telling. So how then do you expect the players? You mentioned about when we concede a goal, everyone just gets deflated. It's like going to work every day. If my manager's telling me I'm dead, I'm crap, you're this, you're that, I'm just going to work to collect my paycheck. Why would you bother working? Because the manager's been publicly saying that you're crap, and it doesn't matter what he tries to do with you guys, you're still crap. It's a problem. And I'll be shocked if I think Amorim will survive till the next international break, but I'm worried that we'll find ourselves in the same situation that we did 12 months ago, where they let him go after the international break, and suddenly it's season right off. Let's wait for the new manager to have another transfer window. It's the same cycle, and that's where when does it end, Flex? When does it end?
I have no idea. We're gonna come to KG in 2 sets. Then we get like these 22 super chats. Yeah, and then the floor is yours, bro. Ed Derez says, "Have we considered KG for manager spot?" #442. English Talent FC says, "I miss the Glazers top 4 every 2 years. Enjoy INEOS."
He's taking a piss.
Yes, taking the piss. Aminor says, "James, hold that on your Ugarte and Shaw belief."
No, I think people have settled in on that Ugarte thing because he was fine yesterday. It would have been a lot worse without him on the pitch yesterday. A lot worse. You got to rewatch that first half and see how many times he's covering for the vacating of the midfield by certain other individuals. Shaw, 100%. I'll eat crow.
I'm with you, James, to be fair. I'm actually with you on this.
I just watched that game this morning again. Ugarte breaks up about 15 City attacks in that first half that are going straight. I watched it again. I put myself through that pain.
The problem is he couldn't have
Luke Shaw was terrible, absolutely terrible. And I'll accept
the issue
anything
is
on that.
too.
I believed and I was wrong. I don't care what Ugarte does with the ball, though. He turned it over. Bruno turned it over.
He's a midfielder.
He does with the
No,
ball.
hold on a second. We go defensive midfielder, and then you judge him what he's doing with the ball. But you won't judge the other midfielder on what he's doing without the ball.
I've judged him.
All right. That's double standards for me. I can't get on board with that.
No, I don't like either of them.
Right, I've got to super chat.
Well, I'm not seeing anybody else doing half the game well at this point in time.
I got to super chat 4 before it exploded. I'm going to carry on. And now there's even more super chats to read because it's now 24 instead of 23. Sanji says, James said, who in the Premier League is better than United's 2 Trinities ago? Said last season doesn't count to him. He doesn't deserve. Right. Sorry, he doesn't have a rearview mirror. Aminor says, I'm calling out Kristen, a member of APA. #deluded. Everyone's just going for everyone. This is a toxic. This red carpet's toxic, but I can't even shy away from what it is. Ed the Red says, so good to see Mr. Saunders here. Long-time fan of the TPL. Of TPL, 100%. What a collab. Rest in peace, Rob. Yeah, Rob Blanchett, man, 100%.
Yeah. Shout out, Rob. Lovely guy, man. Super lovely guy, man.
Proper lovely guy. You Good Mud's been a member for 32 months. Says bottom mid. Said Luke Shaw. I think
it was the KG coins from the. It was the KG coins we were betting on. I still think I'm going to be right. Unfortunately, it's going to be a bad thing. It's going to be a bad thing.
Okay, so bottom mid, as in James said, Luke Shaw will start 20 games. That's not a good thing. #serious gaslighter James.
I didn't say it was a good thing. I just made that prediction. That was my KG coins.
Still will start that. Yeah,
and it was top 5 in the FA Cup.
Top 5 in the FA
Cup. We've got some spread out investments that are in trouble.
We're into serious recession territory, isn't we?
No, bro.
We got recession indicators all over the place. Okay.
Show says INEOS didn't even contemplate sacking Amorim. INEOS didn't even contemplate sacking Amorim in the summer. They accepted 15th. We have no standards anymore. We act like a lower half team, if that. Larry says, James has lost his head. Larry did say that at 10 minutes past 7.
That was probably when I first came in, yeah.
It was. It was when you just went straight to Bruno. Sanjit says, does any other team move their best player out of their best position? Does Salah, Palmer, and Saka move? Did KDB move? Even West Ham don't move Bowen. Well, they kind of do. They play him up front, / on the right. But he can play there. But I get your point. Mason says, keep that energy, Bradley. No, he will. Don't worry about that. Harry says, there is no single point of failure, no one player to blame or one tactical decision. It has all gone up the creek. And unfortunately, Ruben needs to find a solution or leave. Easier to change manager. Probably going to end up as the super chat of the evening. The most rational. Yeah. Pav says, who's that? I don't even know what character that is, though, so I can't laugh. Lord of the Rings. I've never seen it.
I think Gimli and Geeko is funny.
I haven't seen it.
Gimli, though.
Are they saying that's Dylan? Scott's on the right, or is it Bradley? I don't know what the character looks like. So.
Well, it's not us.
I think.
Yeah.
It's not me, you're me now.
I guess. I ain't seen Lord of the Rings, but I guessed. Larry says, if this was a HBO series, imagine the viewer's shock watching James stab Bruno in the back for Amorim.
It's been in the front. I said it a year ago. I've been like this for a long time. I've been like this for a long time.
You went to spin in the front. I wouldn't stab him in the back. It'd be straight in the front.
I don't backstab. I'm blunt with what I think.
Yeah.
I don't do that. I go straight up on that.
AK says, this is the best channel on YouTube. Pure laughs. And Radius says, what am I hearing? Bring Ollie back. Yogi Smith says, playing devil's advocate, when we got the schedule and this pointy in the season, would you have been upsetting if our 2 Prem losses were City and Arsenal? Yeah, he's just trying to do the thing of, you see the fixture list, if you say you only got two losses, but it was City and Arsenal. We wouldn't have minded if we would have beat
performance.
Exactly.
It's performance.
If we would have smashed Grimsby like you're meant to, if we would have smashed Burnley like you're meant to, smashed Fulham, and you just lost these 2, and you just go, right, we just lost against 2 teams that are better than us. But that is not what happened. Rowan says, INEOS rather get United relegated than admit they screwed up. Watch us lose Chelsea, Brentford and Sunderland, and he will still be here. Fans chanting his name are responsible for this the most. You can't say that. You can't say. The people who have the decision to take him out of power are the people that are responsible if he continues. It's not, what we can't do is infight and say you're paying your money to go support the team and the manager, and you're trying to harvest that energy and that environment when you go to watch games. We can't get into that. I think that's unfair. Harry says, it's fair to say Ruben must not give in to players, but can we all agree that what he is currently doing is not working? If no change, then what? I think we do agree it's not working. Sub N says, Amorim is properly backed. Players he wanted gone are gone. Players he wanted in are in. Manner of the loss is what I have an issue with. That's what we were literally just saying. Lil Yo-Yo says, one of the biggest criminals, Luke Shaw, has been a common trend and players playing out of positions. Amorim deserves all of this. Angie S says, this fan base wanted a system. This fan base wanted a rebuild, but they just feel it will be rainbows and sunshine. Welcome to real life. Maybe Amorim isn't the guy, but this fan base cannot take a rebuild. Only a pragmatic manager. And again, I hate that. You haven't got the stomach for this. Because we're 50 games in and we're the worst we've ever been in our whole lifetime out of every manager we've ever had.
Being 15th and then having your worst start to a Premier League season ever isn't be like, you just don't want to rebuild. No, I
don't think that's what they're talking about. But I think like you look at some of the narratives of things where we start going back to this point of like, got to cater to Bruno Fernandes, got to cater to Luke Shaw. We're playing him out of position. That's what people are usually meaning by pragmatic. That's what I don't want either. It doesn't make what we're doing right, though.
With that super chat, that implies that, like, everyone knows there's going to be up and downs. No one's expecting us to go win the Prem, but we're expecting, like that one earlier when it said, you said your first 2 games, your first 2 games of the first 2 losses of the season would be against City and Arsenal. Yeah, but also we've only won 1 game. It's against Burnley. And we've also lost to Grimsby. We've also drawn against Fulham. And also, it's not just the 5 games we played this season, is it? There's been like 50 Ruben Amorim.
It's the 50.
There hasn't even been ups and downs. Yeah. It's just been down. There's been no up.
According to James, last season doesn't account according to James.
In my head, I'm not asking you to agree with me.
Yeah, and in his head, he thinks Ugarte did all right. So it's not
I think he did. I think he did all right yesterday.
James is having a tough night. So Ryan says, or Dave, should I say for him? So Ryan says, said it after City last year. Ruben Amorim is a talker, a fan, a phony. Sadly, he's coaching like one too. Bruno is terrible until he doesn't play, and we are worse. Sub N says, I was told Keith Andrews is a dud set piece coach, but his team drew Chelsea against Chelsea. Scott Parker is just fashion, but his team almost got a point at Liverpool. Nocturnal says United will take 30 years like Liverpool did. And GJE says James need to watch the game for a third time because he clearly didn't watch it properly the second time to say Ugarte was fine yesterday. Madness. EA says last week on his channel, KG branded Ange Postecoglou a con man. Given that Amorim came in, with such a reputation, and Drip, is Amorim also a con man? Just a simple yes or no, KG, before we get to you.
Yes.
Okay, there you go. Asa says Bruno lost possession 21 times against City compared to Ugarte's 8, by the way. On the ball is a myth, and this is what.
But that's because Bruno has more touches in possession. Bruno actually won more ground duels than Ugarte.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
From there?
Come on, no, he didn't. We can look at the stats.
Oh no,
I'm talking about.
James is going
right now.
He's going notebook and he was counting how many times.
I'll pull it up.
James had one of them things where he goes, pass.
He's recording it on his phone. Get reported.
Right now.
All right, while James pulls up the stats.
Thing, by the way, the stats thing is the eye test.
Forget the stats.
Both are rubbish.
Yeah,
I forget the stats aspect of it. I don't particularly care, but people go, "Oh, it's not the problem." But Ugarte, he's the problem.
But I'm saying that they both can be true at the same time, James. Like both can be a
but we
problem,
don't talk that way.
It's weird the way people single out Bruno all the time. Like he's the biggest.
Ugarte's been labeled 6 months in. He was labeled the worst United signing ever by most people. And we're talking about singling people out. Like, come on, let's be real for a minute.
Yeah, probably
we haven't been giving people a fair kick. And most people have decided, they've decided. He was okay yesterday. He wasn't the biggest problem on the pitch. Like, somebody will not track their man. It'll be, it's Ugarte's fault. Ugarte makes up for Luke Shaw getting absolutely done by Doku. And then the ball bounces back in, goes, Bruno loses his man, and it's Ugarte's fault. That's crazy to me.
Not everything is Ugarte's fault.
What about the Haaland missed open goal?
James,
Haaland open goal?
Which one name? I don't know what.
Yeah, but Haaland
I don't remember the sequence. I have to watch that sequence again. I'm not saying he didn't make mistakes either. I'm not even defending him. I'm just saying it's like it's always the same discussion.
Ugarte was the man who passed it when Haaland ran through.
No, Shaw passed it to Maguire, who passed it and got it intercepted.
James,
if you're talking about the third goal.
Shaw was trying to pull a man out of the way of midfield so Ugarte could pass it to the wing back. Ugarte then pass it to Shaw as he was tracking back.
Watch Luke Shaw in that entire game.
I still can't work out why. Luke Shaw was bad as well. I agree.
Yeah. Why are we focusing on Ugarte?
But I don't even. That's what I'm saying. Like it always.
It's not. We don't take Ugarte and we get better. You know what I mean? He's not really been playing that much this season. We're shit. We're rubbish. We're terrible.
My question we don't win any games. Ugarte is looking like this because the way that set up.
Bruno for sure.
Bruno is playing in central midfield. Mazraoui's playing at right wing back. Luke Shaw at left centre back. Who's making all these decisions?
The manager.
Yeah, 100%.
He's the biggest problem.
The sequence for that third goal is Ugarte has the ball. He passes it to Luke Shaw, and Bernardo Silva's coming towards him, and Luke Shaw takes a shit baggy touch and tries to pass it back to Maguire.
So now it becomes the third.
So that wasn't Maguire's. That wasn't.
That's crazy, man.
The point I was trying to make is that what Shaw's doing is Shaw's trying to bring Bernardo Silva out so that Ugarte has the passing lane to pass to Bruno. Like that's a really standard thing to do. Is you bring someone's man
sitting in the centre back's lane the entire game.
Let's not do this. We've seen this many, many times. There is a thing called Casual Shaw. Casual Shaw has been there for years, and I hate his performances, and we always see it. How many times have you seen Shaw just fall over into the goal? We've seen him look like he's kind of trying. You don't know what to do. Anyone ever worked in retail before where you look like you're kind of working, you start to kind of fold clothes? Bro, you're not doing anything. You're just being there so the manager doesn't say nothing to you. It looks like you're working hard. You're still making mistakes. That guy doesn't, he had the cheek in pre-season to say the criminals are gone, all the bad guys are gone, when you've been a criminal all your time here has been a disgrace. But it's not only you, because we can get to Shaw. Bruno, he was involved. I saw the clip of the first goal. Bruno was not tracking at anyone. We've got to be honest about that. Literally, he showed no desire, none at all. And there's no way you can, as the captain, you don't get to say, it's fine, he's not in his position. Because other players for other teams are out of position. So we don't just get to say, Bruno, you know what? If you were in a 10, this would work. Cool. Now, let's leave that because there's loads of issues in it. But this is the issue that we need to talk about. My manager, he showed us before. Do you know the worst thing that could happen to Man United? You see that comeback when Maguire drops the shoulder and he becomes an attacking player? That's the worst thing that could have happened to Amorim because all Amorim believes, as soon as we need a goal, guess who's coming on? Maguire. It's his true. That's his moment. He's using Maguire as a positive outfield player to get us something on corners, on those moments, on set piece moments, which were rubbish at. We ain't even scoring set pieces. I don't even know why he believes that we're going to have this amazing moment, this 1 in 20 time that we're going to do something with a set piece. It is stupid. It is foolish. But let's carry on as well because he said he wants a new striker, and we don't play to him. Imagine getting the thing that you wanted. You don't like your front three, so we get someone that you can play to, 6'5", and we don't cross him. We don't service him. That is a disgrace. I saw Newcastle, Walter Maid, they just said, put it high and up there for him and see what happens. So they have I'm not even talking about super system. I'm talking about try and find him at all costs. You have a session where you say, hello, everybody. We have a Benjamin Sesko. Let's find him. Let's get him to score as soon as possible because it's like for other players, we had the other guy, Rasmus, who lost his confidence and didn't believe in himself anymore, even though he was good the first time he started. We're going to kill another striker's confidence. Why? We're taking long. Mason Mount looks better. Or thingy. Where's the longevity in Mason Mount? He gets injured all the time. Where's the longevity in Cunha? You put him for the 10. All these decisions are absolutely foolish. Then he's got a cheek to put Kobe Mainu on a personal development plan where he says, I need you to be this, and this, and this. What about everyone else? What about everyone else? You got a plan just for him. And I can see stinkers all over the pitch. And that's a disgrace. That's why none of the decisions he's making is making sense. And he says, I don't know why Man United fans want me to stay. Then you got the idiots that are telling us, we should back the manager because we can't keep sacking managers. Mate, if I have a restaurant and there's a chef that keeps burning the food, do I just say, keep letting him burn the food? I'm getting a new chef. We continue to get a new guy until the guy pulls up. I don't know why everyone's got this feeling of, we can't keep sacking managers. Sack them until a good one comes.
And on top of that, KG, as well, every single time you bring it up to the chef, he threatens to quit and then comes back the next day. I got emotional.
You know when that guy quits in Seinfeld, he's like,
Jerry Seinfeld goes, fuck you, piss off, and the next day he just comes back and goes, anyway, about that, just pretends to quit.
It actually looks like it's on purpose. It's that stupid. It actually looks like sabotage to take off, to be a high line, and then take off Lenny Yoro, who's our only player in the back three with any sort of pace, to play Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire, and Mateus de Ligt in the back three. And all three of them are slower than a snail on night nurse, and thinking that's going to work with a high line is beyond me. And then he talks about Kobe Mainu needs a personal development plan, as KG was saying, and his best skill sets are on the ball, and that's what a midfielder needs to do. But, we're not going to play him in midfield because we need to have Agate, Bruno, and Casemiro because they're going to be better off the ball. It's an absolute joke.
It is. For me, I've said it quite a few times. I'm actually sick of this identity. I'm sick at looking at my team with all these defenders on there. We're trying to attack. Looks like we've got 9 men. We're chasing the game. There's still all these defenders on there. We play shit opposition, good opposition, middle of the road opposition in exactly the same way. I just can't. I hate this. I hate the sight of it. I can't stand it. Seeing this U-shaped thing where we're passing across there. And I think I was listening to something today. I can't remember who said it, but it was basically, they were saying, look how passive we are. So when we pass the ball when we're passing the ball, like dilly-dallying amongst them 3 centre-backs, taking our time with it, the opposition goes, right, 3v3, we're going to press each and every single one of them and force them into a mistake. And then when we don't have the ball, are we running our asses off? Are we trying to win that ball back really quickly? Is there an intensity about what we're trying to do? No. hardly ever. And then sometimes we do it, to be fair, in like little 5 and 10 minute spells. Me and Owen was saying this yesterday on the match review. Was going, I'll tell you what, we're showing a little bit of intent here, but we're on the wrong side of every 50-50. So where it was like you nearly got the ball, you're not turning it into possession for us. It's like they're out. Or we nearly got it, but then as soon as we did get it, we gave it straight back. So there's no momentum being built. There's nothing from the manager to change the flow of the game, the feeling of the game. So you talk about goals change games and moments and emotions in games. We don't have that. We don't have that. We don't have something that from the very, very off puts the other team under severe pressure where they're like, wow, we can't get. So like, what do we have? All we're getting after games is opposition players and managers telling us how shit our tactics are. That's all we get. That's it. And then the manager just saying, well, I know that, but this is how I play. So again, you're just telling everyone exactly what you're going to do. There's no level or layer of unpredictability about what you do. There's no sort of changing about what's going on. And then on top of that, like I said, Ruben has also told us that we are a better team. He says, I feel it. We are more confident. We are better. And then forget all the stats, forget all the XGs and final touches in the opposition box and all those final third entries. You look with your eyes, you look at the results, and we're not better. We're no better than last year. And I just don't know what even the discussion's about anymore. After seeing, I'm not the stats man, but like I was saying to Owen today, there comes a point where sometimes every maybe every once a month, you should get a little stat put in front of you, because then it helped me keep a bit of context when I went, Jesus Christ, I didn't realize it's 8 wins. 8. And 50% of them are the teams that are not even in the league anymore. Like what? Oh. So that's only really 4 wins then.
That's the one that gets me. That's the one that gets me.
Like, it's crazy. Like, so what are we sitting here debating? Obviously, I know why, but it's like, what's the reason? There should be no discussion here. Like, I don't understand.
And also the managers have shown that they're the biggest problem, because actually, if we actually look at it objectively, a lot of the players that have left Man United have actually done quite well since they've left the club. But all the managers we've had since Fergie, since they've been sacked, they've all done rubbish. Let's just say how it is. Tenor got sacked at Bayer Leverkusen. Oli got sacked in Turkey. Jose Mourinho's been sacked 3 times. Louis van Gaal's done okay at the Netherlands. So actually, I honestly believe the managers are the biggest problem at this club. Wow. And I think we're too lenient towards managers and maybe too harsh on players. And that's including me, by the way.
It's a good bit of self-criticism. Scott, what do you think about
we can look at the reason why I stick by managers. I'm indifferent now. Like if they sacked him tomorrow, you can have no complaints at all. But the record isn't good enough. Amorim, his reason why he's insisting on the system is because he wants to drill. It's a cultural thing. I've said this for so long. It's a cultural thing that's inside the football club that makes everybody terrible. Like managers, players, it eats them up. I don't know what it is, but nobody's ever been able to fix it. It's going to require a collective effort from everybody. And I don't think you'll see this actually take place and actually complete for a few years yet, because there's so much to do. Like we mentioned Luke Shaw a few times. After the Europa League final, he spoke to Andy Mitten and he said, I don't know if I'm good enough to play for Man United anymore. And he's still there. And he's a senior player in the team.
Forgot about that. I actually forgot.
So what do you think? What's Luke Shaw going to do when Man United concede a goal and then they go, oh no, we conceded a goal? What do you have the mentality to get through that? Or are you, as a 29, 30-year-old player, senior player in this team now, he should be a leader by now, really, shouldn't he? With the amount of time he's been there, 11 years or whatever. Like, that's the problem there. And that's what Ruben Amorim is trying to fix, his insistence on the system. He's trying to drill this system and like these good habits into all these players. And yeah, like whatever you think about the system, fine. I don't think it works either. But the point he's trying to get across is there's something deeper that needs to be fixed. And you can look at the manager as a failure after failure after failure. It's above the manager. It's above the manager. He's trying to do his part. But for me, like I don't know where we get past. Like, look at the manager list after this, right?
But
look
even
at the managers who are out of work.
I hear you on that one. But even Sean Dyche
got sacked by Everton. Come on, man.
He's going to get a better record. Now I'm saying he has a better.
What do you think?
But what's the end goal of that?
What happens, right?
The end goal is a Man United manager can't have 8 games won. He can't.
That's not an end goal though. But that
has to be the bottom line.
No. But follow what Scott is saying for a second.
Gary Neville couldn't go to Valencia. Valencia sat Gary Neville and said, this is not fitting of this club. There has to be, we're so used to losing, we've got this acceptance. We are now saying, we play against Nottingham Forest. Win would have been good today, guys. We've normalized losing so much that we're getting in games. Now Grimsby, remember, it was almost kind of funny. Imagine if Grimsby win, then we don't get a victory against Grimsby. And then we're like, well, listen, there's things that could happen. There's nothing that should happen. We should be winning these games. We're playing against Fulham, it's do or die. Any game that we play, we can say Brentford. No one on this panel believes is guaranteed going to show up and win that game. That is a problem. The standards have gone to the floor that we're now, when we do predictions about where Man United should be finishing, we're saying dumb shit like, maybe conference in Europa. That's a good season. Do you know what's happened to the Man United fan base to be talking like that? We've gone so far backwards because this manager's told us, this criminal said, I don't think we should play in Europe. And we allowed him to say that. Man United not in Europe.
Facts.
Man United not
but
in
look
Europe.
at what Scott is saying. But listen, look at what Scott is saying. You still have 11 players on the pitch. And it was like I was saying, after we concede that first goal, just watch them. They're never going to win.
Pass the ball out 3 times.
They're never going to win.
They're playing out of position.
They're never going to win.
Passing the ball out of play or in play,
we're never going to win with that mentality in the team. I'm not saying, and again, Scott's not saying it. I'm not saying it. I'm actually at the same point as much everything that I've said. If you sack Amorim tomorrow, I'm cool. But you know what has to change? What has to change? No, but listen, what has to change? What has to change? If the next manager comes in and we concede, is suddenly Luke Shaw magically going to have a better mentality? He's not going to drop his head instantly? Is Bruno suddenly not going to throw his hands up at his teammates? None of that is going to change.
Why did the manager beg him
on
to
that
stay?
basis? I don't know. I was a proponent of him being sold at the start of summer.
Also, James, last season there were plenty of times where we did come back. There were plenty of games last season in the Premier League and Europa where we did come back.
Under Ten Hag too. But
I'm literally talking about under Amorim last season. There were plenty of games like when we went down Ipswich, obviously the Leon.
Why did we go down? But why did we go down? Why do we start? We do this every game.
Yeah, we started very slowly. I agree.
15 minutes, we do well, we don't score, we concede, we fall off. It's the same game we watch every single week. They can't put 20 minutes of focus together. They can't. We start the second half, 10 minutes, good football, make a mistake, concede. It's the same thing against City. We started both halves well, fuck it all up, go and concede. It's the same story for years. It's been like this for years.
Spurs. That's the truth. And everyone knows on this panel. What
would happen?
After that Spurs debacle, we should have sacked him. He should never have been there. If the man that lifted the club for Spurs got sacked as well, and we kept the man, we both finished in an embarrassing position. And guess what? We gambled. And I went Vegas just the other day, and we tried. We said, listen, all in on red, and it doesn't work. Well, that gamble didn't pay off. Listen, you lose everything. How has he still got a job? That don't make no damn sense.
And we're
and then after we all said, everyone in this panel said, this is the line that we said. We said, what's the thing about it? Next season can't start like how last season ended. Well, guess what? We're just the same.
I think that's the biggest thing there, KG. That there of like we all knew, regardless of why we think this has happened, all of these problems that exist that aren't all Amorim's fault versus the things that are his fault versus the players that are criminals versus the players on the big contracts versus INEOS versus all of it. One thing we all agreed on was that it can't get to October, November again, and Man United are still 14th, 15th, 16th, 13th was when we exited Ten Hag, really, right?
But the reality is it was always going to happen.
Exactly. Especially the way we look now. And I don't know, man. I think that what's happened is we're so scared because like we've been through so many managers and there's so many problems and it isn't just one thing. We're so scared of like, who do we get next? But the problem for me is that now I think, which I didn't think before, Amorim's now become part of the problem. And I think when that happens, you're always going to be struggling to keep a manager there because like he says himself when he was angry against Grimsby, you can't change 24 guys. You can have a window where you rip out the attack and put a new one there. We just did it. We ripped out the number one goalkeeper. and put a new one there. We have to wait to see how that plays out. We didn't get to rip out the midfield and put. You can change the players, but when the very antidote that we tried to get to fix this thing has now become, with the stubbornness and lack of results, he's now become part of one of the problems, not the problem. He's become one of the problems. For me, that's where I'm like, that's why I think we're all sitting here, even though we've got different takes on the proportion of blame, we're all ultimately sitting here saying, if he gets sacked, I've got no complaints. Yeah. There's nobody that's like, because if he was doing a good enough job or we believed him in enough, there would be some of us sitting here, even like yourself, James, who sees things, from more positive or whichever way, same as Scott. So there'll be someone here saying, and maybe there's people in the chat, there's no problem. These people do exist, but there'll be more people saying, no, I just know this guy's a good manager. He just needs more time. That's not the feeling anymore, or that feeling is diminishing. And I don't know, man. People see things at different points.
Do we have to question INEOS if they don't sack him?
I think so, yeah. I think
it's a bit of, I think it's pride for them, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, he's their guy.
Dan Ashworth not won him? Because he said it wasn't going to work.
No, Dan Ashworth wanted to keep Ten Hag. We're not going down that road.
No, I'm saying, as Scott was saying, is it a pride thing? I think because Dan Ashworth said the Ruben Amorim system won't work in the Premier League, and then they've gone and hired him anyway.
Yeah, I think it's a pride thing, but also I think it's Barada got all his chips on him because that's his guy. He's
you see the picture of him in the stand?
Yeah. So it will look humiliating on him, and then his head will be on the chopping block. But I think Amorim is making a fool of INEOS because 3 different times he has publicly said, if I'm not the guy for this job, sack me. And he's calling their bluff. He's calling their bluff. I'm not doing it. After yesterday, after Grisby, he's saying, I'm not going to change what I do. And I think West Ham were interested in him. Liverpool didn't want to go for him because of his stubbornness. Man United should have looked at that. They should have done the proper due diligence in terms of understanding why other clubs were kind of steered away from him. But I think he's calling Barada's bluff. And if he does get sacked, then I think Jim Ratcliffe will look at the people that made the decisions and their head will be on the chopping block too.
It's easy to
say
that.
Not wrong about that. Yeah, go ahead, Scott.
Amorim could end up at Man City after Pep goes. Hugo Viana is their sporting director. It's.
No,
I think it's.
No chance.
Well, no. I mean, if he'd have stayed at Sporting,
he would have.
Amorim probably would have gone to City, right? I think that's the way that it was. That's the way that it was going.
They wanted him. Yeah, they did want him.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's not like nobody has wanted Ruben Amorim. He's one of the best young coaches in Europe per what he did at Sporting. So he was in line for a big job like this anyway. It's not working out. I'm looking at the list of other people, other managers. Iraola, right? He's the new in-fashion guy. He's great at Bournemouth. He relies on intensity. What does Ruben Amorim want out of his team? Intensity. How long and what do we do next? I think this is the big thing. This is my point of concern here. Is I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't know.
Look at the list of people that are out there.
Keep sacking till you get there.
I agree.
People say go and get Nuno. People say go and get Nuno.
You can't do until the person that walks in that's good enough for the job. You have to keep testing people. What are we gonna do? Just keep language because we're getting further down. As you say, we're getting 1 point. We're averaging how many points a game? What's the
1 point per game?
1 point per game, guys. We can't keep doing this. It's going there anyway. Do you get to relegation and say, at least we stuck behind the manager, at least we backed him? No.
Well, look at him and what he's saying in that press conference yesterday. I mean, you have to be very, very secure in your job to after you've lost again, just to be like, look, if you want to change what you've seen today, you've got to change me, knowing that he's not going to get changed. Clearly, he feels very secure in where he's at, or like Minna's kind of saying, maybe he's calling their bluff, but. The question really is, when we said about INEOS and a pride thing, when do they start doing their due diligence? With last year with Ten Hag, and once Ten Hag was gone very quickly, Ruben Amorim come together and, looked like they've been doing their work for a while, who they wanted to go after. When does that start? Because near enough, we're getting close to in about a month's time, isn't it? It's to the day when, Erik Ten Hag was sacked. And so that international break when we all said, he should have gone, and then we came out of it in West Ham, and then we were like, Ruben's going to come later on. When does that start happening? Because by last year's timeline, that was pretty close to starting around this point. And it makes you wonder if when we play Chelsea or going into the next international break, is that when they start having those conversations about, all right, then Who would we get?
Is he too
The
young?
problem is we sat managers too late.
And players too late. I agree with that too, by the way, but I also think it's players. We keep them for way too long. Why is Dallo still here? Why is Luke Shaw still here? Why the fuck are these guys still here?
Ruben's
had enough.
What are we doing, man? Like, I get when we want to blame managers for the record, because I do as well. But why are these guys still here? They're responsible for it. They can't wash themselves of this. Dallo made 2 mistakes for goals in the opening 3 fixtures. Why is he still at this club?
If Dallo was fit, he would have played.
Yeah, I agree. And he shouldn't.
Yeah, he would have.
Why is he still playing?
Ruben likes that, doesn't he? That's what I mean. Yeah, exactly.
Group. It drives me nuts. It drives me crazy. I've got plenty of things to take a bone up with the manager on, but come on, man. Like the same thing applies to all these players. No,
is Luke Shaw in the leadership group?
No.
Yes, he is.
You know how mad that is?
I think he's one of the five.
Wait, Bruno, Dallo, Mazraoui, Martinez,
and Maguire,
and Shaw.
Yeah, so it's Bruno, Maguire.
You know what I would do?
Tom
I get rid of
Heaton,
every
Dallo,
single one of them.
Yeah,
I'd get rid of every single one of them. They're all tainted at this club.
Imagine you've been in a place for a decade and you're still not in the leadership group. Everyone's come and gone. And 10 years later, they're like, we're doing a leadership group. And you go, yeah, we don't.
Heaton is the last one. It's not Shaw. Yeah, it's Heaton.
Yeah,
He's the only one I would keep out of that leadership group today. He's not playing anyway.
Team stinks.
I don't have a problem with Mazraoui, to be fair, but
why is Delict not in that leadership group?
Wait, so what are they saying to me in that meeting? If I walk into that meeting and see those lads in the leadership meeting and say, KG, I want to sit down and talk to you about some stuff, I promise you, it's going over my head. I'm in there just listening. You know how you listen to your parents sometimes? Yeah, I just got to be here to meet my my obligations as a child, as a son. But I'm not listening to you lot. You lot can't lead me. Well, you lot don't even lead yourselves on the pitch. It's you lot. You're still injured. Martinez, you're still injured, mate. You ain't even led yourself through the injury crisis that you're having, bro. You're taking the piss. What are you? No.
But one of the things that James said,
I'm with you, KG, that's my point. That's what I don't like.
But you did say why these guys. You said why these guys still here, which 100%. Like we talk about, we always say sins of the past, and INEOS can't like undo Casemiro's contract like that. You know, the Jadon Sancho thing. Someone gave Rashford all that money. All of these types of things, which is hard financially for us to do. So we understand that. But also, let's not act like we ain't bought players. Let's not act like we ain't spent money. Because actually, when we keep, this thing of like, it's the same players. It's this, it's that.
It's the culture.
Yeah, well.
No, but
it is.
If you don't rid yourself of the culture for all those players to make it
100%. Yeah, because I get it. The new ones come in and they get infected because that is what's happening.
Yes.
But look at the errors in the game by Indir, Onana, Dallo. These guys have been here for years doing the same shit. It's not like
sketching strays. He ain't even been here for that long. He's crap, but he ain't been here for that long.
But also, people like Bruno and Luke Shaw get grace from the fan base.
Yeah. They get let off the hook.
I don't think Shaw does.
Yeah, let's go.
Luke Shaw doesn't, yeah.
I was just going to say about the topic of the fact that we've brought players. Is no one questioning the fact that the players that we've brought look bad in the way that we play? Like, is not? Are you guys not realizing that at some point it's not the players? Like, it's very tough to believe that an entire starting 11 sucks.
I think it's never been less the players than it is now. Like before, I think it's been a mix of player and manager. It feels much more manager than players now than it has in the past.
And in a way, I kind of feel sorry for Amorim just because of the fact that he was given a now or never ultimatum to join the club last year. Like it was a report, Athletic said that Barada said, it's either now or never, and they were desperate for him. So he's probably looking, if he gets sat down the line, obviously he's walking away with a couple of million, but he's probably thinking, what if I stayed with Sporting? What could I have done? Because I do think
he said in the summer that he was happy it happened. In the summer, he said, I'm glad I've had these extra 6 months.
If I was earning 2.4 million a year, I would be happy it happened too.
But I think that's right, because I think to Mina's point there, you're more talking about like fan perception. Like he didn't want to do it because of the exact thing where you're sitting here saying, well, look at last season. He didn't want to join because of that. He did know that. I'm not saying he's off the hook for that, but he did know that. They forced that decision at the end of the day.
Let me
but no one held his hand and put pen to paper, did they? I mean, he ultimately said yes.
Well, if he wanted the job ever, I mean, it's like if you're ever going to get your chance for a dream move, it's pretty rough.
Yeah.
I don't even know where I got to. Is it Lil Yo, the biggest criminals? Is that? Did I read that one? Amorim deserves all of this. Yeah. Angie S. I think we did that one as well, didn't we?
Yeah, we did that one.
Maybe yeah. And then Sir Ryan
Did that
said
one.
off to see, yeah, and said that Nocturnal. Yeah. James needs to rewatch. Yeah. Last week on the channel. Yeah. I think we got to hear Asa. Yeah, did that. Right. So there you go. I think we got to hear. Radius says hashtag
let's just end there, okay?
No, there's plenty more. We're not ending on that note. Radius says hashtag Team James. Hashtag Justice for Evil Owen. Asa says Bruno 88 touches, 6 ground duels, 5-1. Ugarte 61 touches, 7 ground duels, 4-1 from Sofa Score. So 4-1 and Bruno won 5. So Bruno won the ball back once more than.
But those are in possession and out. In and out is ground duels, by the way. But yeah, I agree. Fair.
Eminem says Bruno played well deeper in a midfield 3. Playing in a 2 is a different game. Very true. Also, just because he played shit does not mean Ugarte played well. But again, manager planned this setup equals bigger problem. Exactly. This is by design. Bruno wasn't here by accident because of a fucking injury crisis. The manager said, I know what I'm going to do with you. Look at this plan. And then you've let that's why, as much as Bruno's, yes, give the ball away, hot potato, yeah, all of that stuff. As much of all of that is true, there is an element of that. Our manager, as Lee Judges says, this manager decided that on his own. That's what he said. He said, I'm going to do it. And last season, we also saw him deploy that same thing, like prepping Bruno to be this guy. So he always wanted to shape Bruno in the little pottery class, making the thing like this, just shaping it. You want Bruno to be this, and it's failing. So that you have to take responsibility for. We can't just go, nah, man. I'll tell you what, though, Bruno. Anyone who knows Bruno's attributes knows one of his worst attributes is being disciplined in defensive areas, checking, making sure the runner's there. Yes, you could say he's an experienced player. He's supposed to be world-class, or he's a captain. It's shocking from him. Yes, it is. But at the same time, my job as the manager, if I know he knows Kobe Mainoo's not good at running, he ain't playing him. So what are you doing then? You have it for some players, but you don't have it for others. It doesn't make sense to me. Aboki says, I've never seen a system that makes everyone look bad before. And Mav says, can't United afford to sack him? And Nosk says, Amorim's pissing Man United. Wow. Okay. With comments. I mean, I thought he was going to
read that all out.
Took a turn.
I wouldn't read that one all the way out.
Yeah, I was going to say, if it's annoying you, I would have carried on. But sure. With comments after a 3-0 against City, like, I hear what you all say, but I won't change my tactics. After several losses that sting the hearts of Man United fans worldwide, he has the audacity to say this. This arrogant fool has to go. Asa says, Szoboszlai playing at right back looks fine, but Bruno can't play 8. Amorim Sporting sold players every 6 months and beat this same City 4-1 in November. David G says, if you deep it, Scholes would be on the bench in this system because he can't run. You know how mad that sounds. Ruben would actually have him on the bench, which is actually true. Angie S says, KG, Flex, and the host, sorry, I don't know your name. That's Owen. Yes.
Oh,
let's say
I'm only here every day.
Well, yeah. And Angie, to be fair, Angie S is here all the time.
Yeah, I'm the Luke Shaw of the channel, not in the leadership group, mate. So.
Let's say we get a new manager. How would you want Man United to play? Not asking about formation, but the system, and who would you build around?
I want him out.
It's long.
4-2-3-1, please.
Yeah.
No.
4-2-3-1.
4-3-3. Give me a different club if we go back to a 4-2-3-1. Give me a different.
I don't care. Literally, I just want to win games.
Just not this. Yeah, I'd happily play this system if we won. I don't care. MJ says, Geordies were relegation fodder. PSR victims had betting scandals. 2 director of football sackings, but the coach has them doing well. United culture issues are overblown. That's, like I said, Thomas Frank's gone in there 5 minutes. 5 minutes. I can see an improvement. I can see it. Like, the manager has to count for something of bringing an instant impact. Not fixing everything with a wand, but showing something where you look at, you go, we have improved here, and here. He's going to need his players. That player needs to leave. This player needs to come in. But I can see what we're working with, and we're not even seeing that. MJ says, oh, no, we read that one. Kishan says, Amorim has brought in 5 players. The rest of the players have done it again. Reason he suffers is he is the only one not to go back to counter-attack. Larry says, I understand your point, Scott and James, but you need wins to get the buy-in from everyone to be able to complete that cultural change, that culture change. You can't be losing matches and say you're making those cultural changes.
I agree with that.
Yeah. GJE says, see what Amorim has done to us as a fan base. Shame. And Bryo says 200 million on an attack minus 3 goal difference equals 70 million for each -1. Jesus. Kyle says Amorim has failed on success. Chuck says sack him now, and we can still save the season and finish in Europe. We can use that money to build a proper squad. I love Amorim, but he can't do it. Larry says if we didn't sack managers after Sir Matt Busby, we wouldn't have gotten Sir Alex.
Rubbish.
He had 6 years.
Yeah, they did give him time.
He wasn't in a relegation battle though.
They were pretty low.
Yeah, he was pretty close.
It was pretty bad.
They were pretty low.
Yeah,
Remember, this is our worst start since 92-93. That's Sir Alex's season as well. So
you're saying
I don't like the comparisons. No, I don't like the comparisons. I don't do that. I'm not in the comparisons. It's just, he did get time.
Hey, David G says we can't sell players because their reputation is poor, and the longer we're out of Europe, our Adidas sponsorship goes down, so FFP will kill us in the market. Super Arch says, who is the player problem child now? Before it was Pogba, Rashi, Onana. The problem is still there. Who is the leader of this dressing room? Madness. Yugeros says, content creators have it rough, LOL. Face the music and stop being so angry, KG. Otherwise, leave the business. You've entered this business, KG. You asked for this, so don't respond.
That's a good one. KG retire.
If you don't like it, go back to acting. If you don't like it, get out of here. That's ridiculous.
I repeat the feedback. Thank you so much.
Larry says Mark Skinner is the best coach at this club. That's scary.
No, it's Fletcher, but yeah.
Yeah. Semix Football says it's not the manager making stupid mistakes with the ball or not covering Foden in the box. Rebuild takes time. Fans need to be patient for a while.
We did that again, didn't we? When you go, it wasn't Ruben, it's not Eric who's missing the open goals. But when we do win, coach is a genius. Every fucking time, isn't it? Every we do it all the time.
Hey,
well, it's not Ruben doing 5-yard passes. Exactly.
Last week, when I said last week, I goes, guys,
what?
We're gonna be all right if we don't win next. What's the energy gonna be like? Then Flex was
I told you it would be all right.
No, that was if we win. I said that.
It was both scenarios. Yeah.
Well, I said if we lose, that we'll be mad.
Guys, I've had us losing since.
No.
Yeah.
To be fair, we thought if we said if it was like a 2-1 loss, but we had more shots.
Yeah.
How are you going to feel next week if we did
have more shots? We did have more shots than City yesterday.
There you go. XG was higher.
I guess what? I still think we're losing to Chelsea.
Yeah, I do as well.
Then we're going to bring in our new keeper.
Financial winner. He's going to kill me.
Then we're going to bring in our new goalkeeper when it's all on the line. I'm telling you now.
Can I ask you a question?
That's the one thing Ruben got right yesterday. It's not playing Lemons.
The only thing Ruben's done right, I don't even know if he's done anything right. I'll say this. Look, you see our striker, it's time to get behind that boy because the worst thing he can do is lose his confidence. People already starting to doubt him in Mbeumo. These are good players. When he started to doubt Mbeumo, Cunha, and they become part of that tainted Man United thing goes on them. These are good players, and they're in a bad situation. Because if I could have put Sesko in that Newcastle team, and he'll do well. 100%. He'll do well. These players, it's just right now, and obviously, the more because we're angry or pissed off, everyone can get it. And I get it. People are putting their in so many different places. This guy's a good player. He needs service. We need to remember that. So when you're arguing with the rival fans and stuff, it starts to become a fact. Because after a while, things that pundits say, it just becomes a fact.
Yeah, it's the fact that he's rubbish and 75 million.
Yeah. I'm just saying, as the fans, the job that we can do, the new players, you can put your arms around them and say, you know what, we're going to give you time, at least. They deserve it.
He's a good player.
I'll tell you one more thing about that United culture. Who cost Chelsea 2 points by not marking his man in the box?
At least they got a point, though.
I know, but who was it? Who was the guy who cost them? The guy came from Man United. That's who.
We'll see him soon. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
the guy
but
from
then
Man
I saw Rasmus enjoying with De Bruyne and scoring.
Oh, they can have fun in Italy.
Now about to play Man City, and I hope they destroy them. I hope Rasmus scores against Man City and De Bruyne assist.
And all the fans are going to say that Rasmus is a great player. Man United just let him down.
100%. That's what's going to happen, mate. Travelers fans are going to say that about Onans.
Did he get man of the match?
He got man of the match.
He straight away.
Mistake, and it was apparently not really that good. But
the match.
Yeah.
Got man of the match, mate. Matt Bappe says, spot on. Loads of people were saying our new signings add X amount of GA to the team. Where is the GA? The system's drained the life already. And Siram says, most touches in opposition box. Dorgu, let's blame Bruno. Brio says, Maguire being a modern day Ollie sub is disgusting. And Radius says, bottom of the table, but not relegated, making Glazers lose more money, forcing them to sell. Or you get Europe, but they stay. Which do you take? Hashtag Team James. Don't even like that. Don't even like that. I just want to be good, man. That's it. I don't want the caveats. Gyok9 says 2 years of owing the league goals, in debt again. OTT99 says, why don't we take a leaf out of Barcelona's book? Use the kids and get rid of the toxic senior players. It can't get worse, can it? Big up the panel. And the last one from Simon, he says, in the end, a decision has to be made. Stick or twist.
It's stick for at least a few more weeks, so you just have to live with
Yeah,
that.
it's definitely going to be that. It's definitely going to be that. People...
Can I ask one more question before you end, Flex?
Yeah.
Really quick to everybody. If we win, because we know if we lose where everybody's going to be at, obviously. Yeah. It's the same as today, maybe a little worse. If we win, is anybody changing their mind after this weekend?
No.
Going, we deserve more time because of a win.
No.
It would have to be it would have to be a very, very convincing
objective question. Why would a win not matter?
If he actually changes something fundamental, then maybe.
Yeah.
Like if he actually changes his
do you know why we say no?
Or if he goes to like a 2 up top,
I want to know why.
Then yes, but it won't happen, so therefore no.
Guys, come on, man. We're well versed in these criminals. They could do that. You know our team. Those criminals could show up. They could say,
reactionary as well.
It's Saturday.
But then what's the point? If we get a result and it doesn't change how we think, then what matters?
So what? Have we not seen this before? Those criminals.
To be fair, KG, I know you. If we won that game convincingly 3-0,
straight away.
You would,
we all would definitely. Batista's going to get it, but that don't change.
Yeah,
that doesn't change.
It would have to be something like I said that I know is not going to happen, which is like we absolutely smash Chelsea and we go, oh, this is really convincing. It would have to be that, and it's not going to be that. If we beat Chelsea, we know it's probably going to be what, like a 2-1.
Actually,
but why do we have to beat them convincingly to look good against a team that's better than us?
Here's a world
because if you beat a team convincingly, you look good.
Well, you know, if a team that's better than you, a little bit better, then
I think
that's what you're supposed to do.
If our manager makes an adjustment tactically, I'll say, well, we can build on this. But because he said he's not going to, so if we play the exact same ways we played before and we win the game, I'm gonna know, well, that mad game's coming again because this midfield is still getting bypassed. But if he changes it,
don't you think that puts it on the players? If we don't change and yet suddenly they turn up and perform, then it's more the players than the system, don't you think?
No, because they one out of something performance can work. They can turn up for one. They can turn up once in a blue moon. They can do that. But I'm saying, for long lasting change. If he says, okay, I've seen what's going on, I'm tweaking it, and then I get the victory. Perfect.
We're not legislating for like a moment of individual.
Yeah, of course.
We can win a game.
Yeah. I'm good, but I understand that. Of course.
The last time before yesterday, we beat City. Last time we played them at the Etihad, we beat them, and came back from 1-0 down. We went to Liverpool and we said that's our best performance. 2-2. We were really good. Like they can have a day where it hasn't been very often, but they can have a game where they just show up. The performance against Arsenal, even though we lost, we went. But I tell you what, if they play like that every week, we'll beat most teams. But guess what? They proved that that's not sustainable. And the same way it took me 50 games to basically get here and say, well, this is shit and it's not working. It's not going to take me one game to go,
so actually,
I was wrong about them 50. I would need to, for me to change my mind from this position.
That's what I'm asking. Go ahead.
Yeah. It needs to start against Chelsea. And then from there onwards, I'm talking into October, November, even December. I just need to see a steady upward trajectory, one that I wasn't expecting to see. And that's not necessarily winning every game. I'm not saying we have to win like the next 10 on the bounce or some shit like that. But I need to see something sustainable and going in an upward trajectory, not up and down, not we beat Chelsea, then we drew against Sunderland, but then we did beat Brentford, because then that's the same thing. It's the same. Like, I need to see something tangible, even if it was, and that's me even saying, even with this same system, even if we kept everything the same, if you give me consistency in results and performance, maybe even performance, even if I saw better performances more consistently, I could be like, well, I feel like we're nearly there, It does feel like it just need the goals to go in. Right now, nah.
I think it's a good mindset to have. I just think people are going to end up, I hope people don't end up in this situation, because we've all been there, of just hate watching the team and the manager when it's not going to change. Because if results do improve, there's not going to be a change, and he will last the season if the results are even decently better than now. So, you know, just for everybody's sanity, I recommend, just like
don't think he's going to get sacked.
Open your mind. You know what I mean? Like, it's not happening tomorrow. Like, if they get results,
that's fine. I agree.
It's going to keep extending all of this. And
I'll be fair. If I see a turnaround over a consistent amount of games, I will say, well, fair play. These last 5 games, I tell you what, we've got, I don't know, 4 wins and a loss. But I tell you what, that's as good as I can ask for in the last 5 games. Then I'll look at the next 5. But there is no way in hell, even if we beat Chelsea 4-0, I swear to you, even if we beat Chelsea 4-0, I would still need to see what we look like against Sunderland next week.
100%.
Because it just that's just, we've been here before.
Yep.
Right. I think, All right, people. Big up to each and every single one of you. Someone in the chat did say, could you say the names of the people on the panel? So I am Flex. That is Mike Phelan. It used to be Owen. He's back now.
It's me.
There you go.
My Morrison's shop arrived. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Other supermarket delivery things are available.
I know.
Yeah, that is Scott Saunders right there in the top right. If you're thinking, I've seen him before, of course, of 90 minutes and stuff like that, and loads of other things. So you have seen him. That is Bradley there just below him. To the left, that is Minna Football. You know what I'm saying? Uncut, Miss Uncut. Check her out, Premier League. That is KG Gary, the comedian. To the left of that, KG Reckless Sports. You know what I'm saying? Actor. You know what I mean? Comedian. You know what I mean? All-round funny guy. Content creator.
Tier 5.
Tier 5 source, you name it. That's what he
dropped
is.
Again. I thought it was
just below him.
It was
3.5
for a bit.
Yeah, it was for a short bit. That's James from the Muppeteers. Has a huge account on X. Beginning his YouTube journey. Fantastic. He's also American. Big up to him.
If you didn't know by now,
He's and then and next to him is Dylan. Also runs a fairly decent sized X account, nearly at 1 million followers. And I think that's a Wales rugby top. Also likes rugby.
It is Wales rugby kit.
Yeah, Wales rugby kit.
Where are you from, mate? I'm Welsh as well.
It's on my mum's side, so I'm
Okay.
London.
Fair enough.
As you can hear in my accent, but it's family.
We say family. There you go. All right, guys. Big up to each and every single one of you. We're going to be back next week again, of course, on the next red carpet. And please just let it be after beating Chelsea. I beg. Actually, I'm not even here on the next one. I'm not even here. I'm not even at the game as well, which is annoying. So yeah, there you go. But the red carpet will be on. Take care, guys. Big up to Scott. Big up to Bradley, Minna, Owen, KG, James, and of course Dylan. We are out of here. Take care. Go show love to everybody's channels and give them a follow on social media as well. Take care. Peace.